So this is a model smm201-12-5 conversion devices incorporation power supply, and it was not working. So what you need to do is check this guy right here. It is a 0.15 ohm resistor, and because it will be open, and then there will be these two transistors behind this capacitor here, which will you'll measure those, and they will be shorted. And those part numbers are K12A50D. I got that from eBay. It was like $6, I think, with shipping. So what you're going to have to do is take and remove the capacitor, and also remove this little board here in order to get the capacitor out. And you also have to bend the heatsink up, otherwise you have to take the heatsink completely off, and not interested. In addition to that, you have two fuses, dip mounted fuses. These are 2-amp fuses, and they are this point and this point, and I would have to look and see what where the other one is. Basically, it's where these two guys are with the heat shrink. So here and here, and they will be open. Its usage should be measured, and it should be a short. That's what they look like. So yeah, it's 4-amp, I believe. I said 2-amp, but it's 4-amp. T4 250 amp. That's what this is. I got this off of Amazon. It's like 20 of them for $8 or something like that. I don't know. It was cheap. I'm not going to put heat shrink on them. So after everything has been changed, I will take and do a video at the end here of it working. So I'm just going to change these two fuses and then go from there. So what I'm going to do here is just kind of make a blob and let that drop. I'm going to use the toothpick, kind of clean the hole out just here. Get rid of my excess solder. I don't want to make this a long video at all. I did not have a connector that would fit this. I just had to solder these two wires on the top, or actually on the bottom of the board. And it's kind of sketchy, but it'll do. I need to clean up the top of the solder here. We'll solder this first, and then we'll cut the leads off. Okay, so I got that in. Now hopefully this will take care of everything else. Shouldn't be any more shorts, shouldn't be any more anything blowing up, anything like that. Up here at the top, this should be ground, and the other should be 12 volts. Now, hopefully you'll be able to see the screen. There we go. See what happens. I don't want that to tip. Okay, see what happens. Ooh. Now, we still have some issues. So that was the that was the 15 milliohm, 0.15 ohm resistor. I'm just letting the capacitor drain before I check anything else. Sometimes it may not be what you can do. Now the MOSFET is shorted. Well, it's a good thing because I do have more resistors and I do have a MOSFET. Let's change the MOSFET and let's change the resistors, I guess. Sometimes you have to play with a little bit of fire in order to get things fixed. And today's one of those days. I'm glad I have that on film. Have the nice little fireball. So I had already had this MOSFET out once because I had suspected it to be in bad, and I put it back in. It was reading really low. It was like 6K, which to me that seems really, really low. 6 kilo ohms. So yeah. I don't know if the fuses are bad again. Let's check the fuses. That's good. That's good. So both fuses are still good. Kind of strange. See where we're at on this. It'll drain. It's like 6 volts. So the screws out for the capacitor, the MOSFET. MOSFET number, by the way, is 6R190C6. That's what that one is. It does have an insulator in the back, so you have to make sure you insulate that. And like before, I just took and just heated the legs up, and it just dropped. Okay, now that's loose. Let's get this resistor out. Mr. Fireball. Probably should check there's a little orange capacitor next to it. I don't know if it's connected or what. Just in case it's shorted and causing problems. I really need to get my new soldering iron out someday if I can find it again. Lucky for me, it's not connected to that resistor directly. I mean, it is, but it's not. It's kind of down the line. We're going to get the ohmmeter out again, and I'm going to verify that capacitor is not shorted. If it is, then I'm just going to call it quits. Okay, it's not. Alright, so now we gotta get Mr. MOSFET out. What you don't know about this is that this is being pulled up as well, so I gotta clean the contacts out for the MOSFETs. Again, if I had a solder sucker, it should be ideal. Versus a toothpick. Kind of in the middle of moving this workshop. So I'm gonna have something set up eventually in the garage. I could take and continue on making videos and still utilize the space here in the house for other things for the future. Alright, that'll go in. Sometimes these things could be a bear. If you don't have the right tools. Yeah, that's fine like it is. I never liked resistors, especially that kind, sitting on a circuit board. It never really appealed to me. Now I believe I was right when I did the measurement before on that resistor. Hopefully I don't have the reading off, otherwise we might be creating our own problems. So here's the new MOSFET, just to make sure it is the same. They have some ferrite beads, so I'm not really worried about the ferrite bead. I'm not concerned about the noise too much. If there's going to be any noise, it's going to be, there's so many capacitors in this thing, it should filter itself out. I think the hardest part would be to get the leads. I'm just going to bend these leads back as a hair, so they kind of just line right up. I do kind of want this, the heat shrink, not the heat shrink, but the insulator still back there. I can always take the insulator out. I'm trying to not make this a long video. It seems like it's going to be. I hate wasting people's time. Okay, that's down. Next to put the insulator in, and then we're going to make sure everybody lines up here, and then we'll do our screw. Okay, so I got the MOSFET in. This has changed. Fuses still look good. Let's see if it works this time. Hopefully nothing goes boom. If we do, then I don't know. We'll just have to do a little bit more exploitation of the power supply. Firing your hole. No boom, you got 12 volts. Nice. Well, that's cool. We got it fixed. Now all we have to do is take and bend that back down, and we're good to go. So, if your power supply does not work anymore, then ultimately these are the parts you will have to change. Now I excluded the fuses because I took and put that resistor back in and didn't check these two guys here, and have to put those things out. So you're looking at maybe $10 in parts at most. Now these things here, new, go for $425. So you are saving yourself money by fixing it yourself. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.